Right now on HHS In Depth, we continue to cover the impact of the coronavirus on our community as Indiana makes the first steps to reopen.
Given the trends moving in the right direction on all four fronts, I'm ready to announce the next steps.
Hear the five-stage approach to reopening the economy. Plus, hear from the essential workers keeping the community moving forward, including those distributing meals to SACS families. Thank you for joining us. It's great to have you with us. I'm Ashton Hackman. Across the nation, many states are preparing to reopen their economies after the extended lockdown, including Indiana. Last week, Governor Eric Holcomb announced the several-stage roadmap to get the Hoosier economy running again by late summer. The first phase was the expiration of the stay-at-home order back on May 1st. As of Monday, most Indiana counties are in phase 2 of the plan, which would begin allowing restaurants and bars to reopen at half the capacity. In phase 2, shopping malls are also allowed to reopen but must follow strict social distancing guidelines. If the state remains on track by May 24th, it will move into phase 3, which would allow social gatherings of up to 100 people, and retail stores could move to 75% capacity. Phase 4 would allow social gatherings of up to 250 people. And in July, Phase 5 would begin the process of determining how to reopen schools this coming fall. Many people are still unsure of whether or not it is too early to reopen the economy, although some say this couldn't have come soon enough.
I think it's a good thing the state needs to reopen. However, we need to be responsible about this. And if we need to wear masks, we need to wear masks. This virus is not going away.
For the complete detailed step-by-step reopening plan, log on to the state government website. Mrs. Reibold wants to remind students that if they are having issues with their computers during quarantine, it is their responsibility, not their teachers, to get in contact with her in order to solve the problem. Students that are having issues should look at the Google Doc that was sent out before contacting her so that they can troubleshoot on their own and are reminded that they must be logged into their school account to view. If students are unable to resolve their issue, she can be reached at the email listed on your screen to set up an appointment. With only a few weeks left of school, the policies for returning and picking up supplies has been announced. Here's Cora Shaw.
As the school year is wrapping up, Homestead students have been wondering when we will get back into the building to return books, laptops, and pick up what was left in lockers. The book return will be May 26th through May 28th in the North Bus Lot near door 34 from 9 a.m. from 2 p.m. If those who are returning books left something in their locker that they would like to obtain, there will be staff to bring it out to the students. Laptop return for seniors only will be June 15th and June 16th outside of doors 8 and 9, where they will also receive their diplomas. This process will be similar to the cap and gown pickup that was held last week. For underclassmen, there will be no laptop return until registration. After our custodians clear out the lockers, we will have a later announcement about when students can pick up the items left in their lockers. Ashton?
All right, Cora, thank you. For our seniors ending their years in high school, uncertain of whether graduation will take place can be heartbreaking. Thankfully, the district came together to celebrate the senior class with a drive-through cap and gown pickup last week. Cars were bumper to bumper in the Homestead bus lot waiting to pick up their graduation attire. Local firefighters were at the event hoisting an American flag in the air, seen there on your screen. For most, it was the first time coming in contact with their teachers since leaving for the year back in March. The fate of the commencement ceremony remains uncertain. Throughout the lockdown, many people have been forced to work from home, but one group of workers has been unable to take a break. Mackenzie Butts joins us now with a look at the essential workers in our community. Mackenzie.
Thank you, Ashton. And in this time of uncertainty, we may not realize it, but we are relying heavily on those keeping our stores, our hospitals, and our communities going. And I'm talking about our essential workers. I got the chance to talk with two of these people in our community that say COVID-19 really hasn't changed their procedures in the workforce, but rather their caution when in contact with others.
I work at Parkview Regional Medical Center, and we shorten it, we usually call it PRMC. And I'm actually a respiratory therapist. We've kind of increased the way we do things as far as with COVID, but not that much different. We still wear gowns, gloves, masks. We wear hair nets, and that's about it. So we've just kind of increased our awareness because of this, but we haven't changed a lot of things.
Well, I'm a Fort Wayne firefighter. I work at Station 12, and I work the same amount I've always worked. EMS and firefighting, it really has not changed a lot. With the social distancing, our run volume has actually dropped a little bit just because people aren't out and there's not as many accidents and people are staying in and not getting sick as often.
Even though COVID has not changed much with their job routines, respiratory therapists and firemen alike may come in contact with the virus through their work in hospitals and with first responding EMS. In order to protect themselves, small changes in procedure are necessary.
So we are seeing quite a bit of COVID patients. What offsets that is we're not doing any scheduled surgeries that are non-life threatening. For like a knee replacement or a hip replacement, all those got canceled. In our MICU is where we're putting the critical patients that have CV-19 that require like a ventilator or increased amounts of oxygen. We have a 36-bed MICU, and we probably have right now maybe 25 patients that are COVID positive that are in those rooms, in those 36 rooms. So we're seeing more of that, which means we're having to wear, like in pretty much every room that we go in now, we're having to wear a gown, a mask, like a special mask, an N95 type mask, gloves, and some people even double glove when they go into a room. And then we are having to wear the hair nets and even sometimes the shoe covers.
We have to clean our station more. We take extra precaution with patients because we run priority 1 medical calls as well as fires and accidents and things like that. So instead of having all 3 or 4 firemen go up to the patient, we send 1 fireman now.
Although these measures of security, such as masks and gloves, help prevent the spread of COVID-19, there is still a chance that these workers may contract it, which they say doesn't scare them that much at all.
It could happen, of course, but I don't feel like as an essential worker, I'm more likely to get it with our precautions than just someone going to the grocery. Of course, we do encounter a little bit higher risk because we can't control every situation, but I really don't worry about it.
I'm not scared about it, but I do think about it. But as long as we're doing, what we're supposed to be doing as far as protecting ourselves, that's all you can do. As far as normal, they're talking on television about this curve that needs to flatten, and this self-quarantine is helping kind of flatten that curve and helping less people become infected with it since we're not out in the public and around each other. So that's helping. But I think it's going to be, a long time before we go back to normal.
As the state begins to reopen the economy, many essential workers are hoping for life to return to somewhat normal. Our community appreciates and thanks all essential workers during this time. Ashton, back to you.
All right, Mackenzie, thank you. And last week, the community continued to come together to honor those essential workers in the medical field. 4 A-10s from the Indiana National Guard flew over several area hospitals. A similar event took place in Indianapolis and Southern Indiana hospitals. The flyover letting our first responders truly understand our appreciation for their service. Throughout this pandemic, SACS Food Service has been determined to make sure students and families still have access to daily meals with a drive-through service. Here's Hadley Mertz.
Obviously, when all of this started to go down back in the middle of March, we knew we needed to do something.
The strike of COVID-19 has left Indiana schools closed and many students in need of healthy meals they had once been receiving at school. With the help of lunch staff throughout the district, Southwest Allen County has come together, providing hundreds of students every day with the meals they need.
Our numbers those first few days were really low. That changed pretty quickly. Numbers started to go up, and they've risen almost every day since then. We're up to serving over 1,500 meals a day.
Many people throughout SACS are currently working from home. With lunch staff from all different schools in Southwest no longer being able to work every day, how has Southwest Allen County been able to keep the staff working?
Between the entire district, we've got 80 employees, and we're averaging 12 to 15 per day coming in. each employee's working a couple times a week. The biggest thing our employees would say is we don't get to see you guys.
We miss them. We miss seeing their faces every day, so.
The commitment from staff and the district shows just how strong our community can be in times of need.
I think Mr. Brown and his people have done an incredible job to do what they're doing every day and making sure people get fed. It's way outside the norm of their job and is just a huge example of a commitment to the community that is inspiring.
It's tough environment for a lot of families in the area, and we're able to provide maybe a little bit of slice of goodness during this time. So that's the rewarding part.
SACS hopes to continue this for as long as they can, providing free meals and positivity throughout the district. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Hadley Mertz.
In a similar fashion, 2 locally owned food trucks are giving meals to the homeless and anyone else in need of food. Ziffel's Zip and Go and One Love food truck move throughout the city handing out food each day. The locations of both food trucks can be found on their respected Facebook and Instagram pages. As we reported in our last show, schools across the nation have turned to new technologies like Zoom to continue schooling from home. Here's Alex Peters with a look at other apps that can make working from home easier.
Hey there, welcome back to a new edition of Tech Talk. With being stuck at home, I'm sure everybody's been using their phones a lot more lately. So today, I'm going to be going over some apps and tips you can use to help make learning from home a bit easier. Many services that SACS students use every day already have apps for phones and can be very useful. The first app is the PowerSchool app. With the PowerSchool app, you can view your grades on the go and even receive notifications if your grades change, which can be helpful to know if you have missing assignments or if a large grade has been put in. The next app is the Canvas app. The Canvas app is great for viewing upcoming assignments or Zoom meetings without having to use your computer. You can check just about everything you could on the website in the mobile app, such as the dashboard, your inbox, and most importantly, your calendar. With the app, you can even sync your Canvas calendar with your phone's calendar app. The Zoom app is very useful. If you're ever away from your computer or away from home during a conference, you can just join in from your phone. Just make sure you're using headphones and have yourself muted as always. Google Drive, as well as the other products from the Google Suite we use at school, all have mobile apps as well, so you can work on your essay from home or download a project from your Google Drive to your phone with ease. Finally, a quick tip to make sure you're keeping up to date with any information sent out by the district, school, or your teachers. In your email app, you can change notification settings on a per-account basis. For example, I have my school account set to all new mail, so I can be notified anytime I get an email from the school or my teachers, whether it be for Zoom information or a general update. Those are just a few apps and tips you can use, but if you do a bit of digging, you can find even more that may be helpful to you. If you have any other questions you want answered, just email me at this email address and I'll try and address it in the next Tech Talk. Stay safe and thanks for watching. I'm Alex Peters.
Turning to weather now, temperatures will continue to drop in the 50s this weekend. Chance of rain returns on Sunday. As we approach next week, temperatures return to the lower 60s and we remain fairly dry. When we come back, find out how life in quarantine is different for those in the United Kingdom. We'll be right back. We end today with a look at life outside the United States. Many nations are stuck in lockdown just like us, but how does that impact students worldwide? Here's Easton Hensley.
While we do know how local students have been affected by the coronavirus, how have students been affected worldwide? I sat down with my friend Anna Griffiths to find out how students in the UK have been affected by this pandemic.
So how are the regulations in the UK different from other countries in Europe?
Well, like there's police on the streets and stuff in like the main cities. I'm in a village right now, so it's not that sort of controlling. Like you can still go out on a walk, but you can't like, you know, meet up with people and stuff. Like if you're in a city and people do that, then the police will come up to you and they'll like tell you to move away from each other and stuff. So it's quite strict in the places that there are more people, basically.
How is this affecting your academics?
Okay. Academics wise, I've like asked all my friends and we've been talking to each other and we found that it's basically school without the fun part, if you get me. Like, it's kind of hard to stay focused because we aren't with people. It's not the same. It's sort of through a screen. It's not as interactive as like real school is, obviously. I'm still motivated because it's like my A levels, they're important. I enjoy my subjects just as much as I did like before this whole lockdown thing, but there's still like, I miss seeing people in my classes and stuff. That's probably the worst part of everything.
With these changes to the learning and social distancing, standardized testing is also experiencing a change.
We haven't got our major exams this year. The year above, however, and the year below us had their GCSEs and A-levels, which was super important. I think they're going to base the grades off their mock exams, which is like, it can be good for some people, but obviously the people that were going to revise in their exams, that obviously sucks for them, you know?
Despite these strict regulations, UK students and staff plan on returning to school in the fall. Ashton?
All right, Easton, thank you. And that will do it for us on this Friday. We leave you with a collage of the things that help keep us moving throughout this quarantine. Our pets. For all of us, I'm Ashton Hackman. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend and stay safe.
They give me love. They give me motivation.
They're really there for support. They're really great friends.
It's like kind of fun to have a companion, and I mean, I wish I had a dog, but a turtle's good.
Once I got my dog, after maybe like a month or two, it just seemed like family. It just seemed, normal to see him around.
I really like him a lot. My mom has a really strong connection to him too, so it's fun to have a little companion that you have to take care of.
Rocky here, we try to teach him new tricks, and then sometimes, since he's a puppy, he gets random energy bursts and he'll just run around the house and try to chase whatever he can find.
We have a turtle, and we will sometimes get him like feeder fish, and he didn't eat one, so there's just a giant goldfish swimming around in the tank.
Thank you to everyone who follows our Instagram and submit an image from them and their pet. Keep your friends close and your pets closer.